Hi there, I want to teach you how to make this, and I want to teach you how to cut this out. It's 3/4 of a circle out of this card, so you leave part of it uncut. What we're going to use is, to make this card, I'm going to have all the pieces on the website, but take a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 piece of soft suede, cut out the center because you're going to use that for this greeting right here. And it also helps keep your cards not so heavy. Now, to cut out this vanilla piece, I have the vanilla piece is 4 by 5 1/4. And what we want to do is I want to use this. These are the Stampin' Up! Ones. There's the scalloped ones, the large one, and the third one in is the one we're going to use. Okay? And you'll notice I only cut with the circle about 3/4 of the way. So let's see how we do that. Going to use the big shot, and I have these two smaller plates that are cutting pads. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the piece of paper on the platform. I'm just using the magnetic platform, and I'm going to position the die face down and put it right where I want it, about there, right in the center, only up higher from the, if this is the bottom of the card, up higher. And I do want to cut the top, so I'm going to put this pad here, and then I'm going to take the other pad and I'm going to put it perpendicular for you people here, and I'm going to run it through, get it going here, run it through the big shot. Holding, once you get that first one in there, the second one will go. Where there is no cutting pad, it will not cut. So now what we have, once you take this off, you'll see it only cut 3/4 of the way around here. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to stamp our weeds from the Wetlands stamp set, and I stamped those in Pear Pizzazz. So that they hang up in here. And then you're going to take scissors and you're going to fussy cut around these. Now I did leave a little bit around there if you look at that, so I'll be right back when I get that done. Okay, I've cut around there, and now I'm going to take a 4" by 4" piece of paper, because this will fit exactly behind that circle, just like that. But I need to know where my circle is on there. So I'm going to lay it over top of it, make sure it's completely covered up, and I'm just going to very lightly, because I don't really want to get pencil where I don't want it. On the white, I'm just inscribing that circle around so that I see where it is, so I know where to stamp my truck. I'm going to stamp the truck with Memento Black. Oh, great, get it on my finger. I'm going to put the truck up here. It's going to be covered up a little bit by the weeds, but that's okay. And now I'm going to mask off the truck. Now what I use to mask off the truck is, I'm using this Post-it removable label tape. It's 2 inches and it's got 36 yards in it. It just comes off in a roll, so the whole thing is sticky. I've already cut my mask off by stamping the truck, and I cut out the windows with an X-Acto knife. Now when you put this on here, you want to cut right on the lines, because I don't want a halo when I sponge that sunset on that truck. So I do want to see the black lines of the truck. I want to get as much as I can. Now, I'm going to do a sunset, and I'm going to use Daffodil Delight. And I'm going to pounce in the windows, because they're kind of delicate now because I've used it several times. So I'm just pouncing in there to get some sunset color in there. You can also do some down here. Now notice I didn't cut out the bottom of the truck because I didn't care about that, because I'm going to go back in there and color that. After the daffodil comes Calypso Coral. You can mix these colors a little, but don't mix them so much that it gets muddy. And then finally, I guess I put a little too much of that in there. We're going to use Soft Sky. Up here on the top. The Soft Sky is the one that's going to mix with that coral and make it a little muddy, so you want to be really careful with that. I always try to do these things so fast for the camera that I goof them up. Okay, once that's done, I'm going to remove the mask, and now I just have to color in my truck and put in the bottom. Now what I did with the bottom was I took some Old Olive and I like to use these little things. Now you have to be really careful with these because they get really dark really fast, and you don't want circles. So I'm going to try not to get any circles. I'm going to brush this like I'm going to do grass. So I'm actually starting up under the truck and I'm coming down with this dauber underneath the truck, just like that, because I want the darker color up there. But some sunlight's going to come through because we're going to pretend we're on a hill here. Okay, once I get the edge of the truck done, then I can take the sponge, take a sponge here, and I can actually sponge in some more grass. Notice I'm using a vertical sliding the sponge right across. I don't know if that's working, but that's okay. I went back in with colored pencils, and actually when I colored in the truck, I went back in with colored pencils and drew in some more grass. Now I'm going to take the truck itself, I put a little bit of soft suede because, you know, there's dirt under that grass. So I added a little soft suede. I did put my shadows in with the colored pencils, so I'll show you what I did with there. This won't be exactly like I did the first one probably, but anyway. Now, once that's colored, now you can either sponge the bottom of those weeds. You see where it's going to happen is I'm only going to have to color in this part of the truck. Now if there's a little spot, like these little spots of white up there, I can take my yellow colored pencils and I can go right into those spots and fill them in so that it doesn't look like there's something missing in those windows. Okay, so I'm going to color the truck and then I'll come back and put the rest of the card together.